Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. MacArthur. You can't see me right now because I have my board in front of the camera. I would like to go over something with you today. It is called picture graphs, and we've done graphing in class a number of times. We've done voting in our class. Maybe you and your classmates had to choose between two different things that you had a choice of doing. And so we use tally marks to kind of keep track of the votes and count up how many people want to do one activity compared to how many people want to do another activity. And then we use that graphing to decide which activity to do. We've also done graphing in the beginning of school with our names. And I remember when we all first started, we were getting to know each other. We wrote our names on a piece of paper and counted how many letters were in our names. And then we made a graph to show how many kids had 3 letters in their names, how many kids had 4 or 5 letters in their names. And then we were able to use our graph to decide who had the most letters in their name or who had the least letters in their name. So we use a graph oftentimes to give us information or ask questions about the information we're gathering. So I want to go through this picture graph with you. I have one up here. It says our class's favorite sports. So here we have soccer, baseball, football, basketball. And for each ball that's on the graph, that represents a child in the class, and it tells us which sport is their favorite. So if I look at soccer, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That tells me 6 students in the class like soccer the most. That's their favorite sport. So we're going to use this graph and the information to answer some questions down at the bottom. So down here, number 1 says, how many kids like baseball the most? So what I'm going to do, so the word baseball is here. Ooh, that's a compound word, baseball. Okay, so I'm going to find the word baseball in my graph. So it's right here. And I'm going to count the number of baseballs. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the number of kids that like baseball the most is 4. All we did was count the picture in our graph. Number 2, how many kids are in our class? So remember, all of the balls represent a child. So what I'm going to do is count all, and that will tell me how many kids are in our class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so how many kids are in our class? 19. Down here, number 3, how many more kids like soccer than baseball? So if I look at soccer and baseball, those are the two I'm comparing. I see that soccer, we already counted that. We know soccer has 6 kids that like that the most. Baseball, 1, 2, 3, there's 4 kids that like baseball the most. So I see that there's 2 more kids that like soccer better than baseball. So my question again, how many more kids like soccer than baseball? I see that 2 more like soccer better. So I'm going to answer that with the number 2. Down here at number 4, which sport do 6 kids like the most? Okay, so which sport do 6 kids like the most? So if I look back at soccer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I know that 6 kids like soccer the most. So I can say soccer. So I was able to answer some questions by using the information that was provided in the graph. And we're going to do another example on the back. So let me switch this over. And I'm going to give you a minute to kind of think about what the graph, think about what the graph is showing and how we can answer those questions. Okay, so here's the paper. Now this graph shows our class's favorite animal. So we have dog, cat, shark, horse. So you're going to use the information in the graph to answer some questions. How many kids like sharks the most? Okay, so you're going to answer that question. Maybe you can tell one of your parents and they can let you know if that's correct or not. Okay, let's go down on number 2. How many kids are in our class? We did an example with that on the graph before. So see if you can find out how many kids are in our class on this graph. Okay. Number 3, how many more kids like dogs than cats? So I'm comparing dogs and cats. I want to see how many more think that the dog is their favorite animal. And then down here, which animal do 5 kids like the most? Okay, so you're looking for the animal that 5 kids say is their favorite. I'm going to go through and give you the answers so you can check your work. So how many kids like sharks the most? I see 2. 2 kids like sharks the most. How many kids are in our class? I counted them, and I believe it was 18. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. How many more kids like dogs than cats? So up here, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I know that 3 more of the students like dogs more than cats. Which animal do 5 kids like the most? So I want to look for the animal that there's 5 kids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So cats. Okay. Those are the answers. I hope you came up with those, and I hope you learned a little something about using a picture graph to answer some questions. Like I said, we've done this before, but this is just kind of a review and to remind you how to use this. Okay, bye for now.